Good morning, everybody. It is morning. Eric here with driverlineup.com, world's okayest steering wheel holder. And Jenna, who's in an amazing mood because something really weird happened in the past 24 hours. The first thing is she just drove 240 miles and it's 4:50 in the morning, which is not very normal. So she's in a great mood. Also, her coffee is not to her standards because I only put 3 times as much as creamer as most Americans use instead of 6 to 10 times more. So she's not thrilled about anything. And then yesterday, I was not. So I've been driving this truck for 2 years. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't have a lot of daytime driving experience. And yesterday, for the most part throughout the day, I needed to line about 10 people up and just go down the line, punching each of them in the throat. That's how yesterday felt. I don't know how you guys drive in a daytime every day. I just don't. I don't get it. I can't. Going through one city at 2 in the afternoon on a weekday, I wanted to literally go postal.
Okay, so it's one of those things where it's just all a matter of like what you turn it into. So I play this fun game where I pretend I'm just nominating people for the Dick of the Week award. So every time you run into one of those people, I just give them a nomination for the Dick of the Week award. And then later in my week, I hold an award ceremony mentally, and whoever is, the standalone, like they were the high score champion of bad maneuvers.
It melts my face. Yeah. A lot of you daytime drivers cannot effing maintain a speed if your life depended on it. I don't get it. Get it. At nighttime, I can do 65 miles per hour flat for 10 hours straight. In the daytime, I can't do 65 miles in cruise control for 10 freaking miles.
Well, my favorite is the driver on the phone, not hands-free. The driver who's actually talking on his phone, and he's going 53 and a 70. And then you get up the speed, you go to get around him, and then he looks at you, and then he punches it, and I'm governed at 65.
Maintain a damn speed. It was flat the whole day. There's no reason. Anyway, 3 minutes into it already. By the way, you guys, I don't know if you can see this. Look how close this fence is. Can we see that? Yeah, you can. Look at that. This is where I had to back in this morning. So that was a blast. Anyway, the point of this video is big news. Bearded Fat Man, this is dedicated to you and all the hard times you've been through since Thanksgiving. So
oh man,
I'm actually gonna find a way to sneak Bearded Fat Man in the title of this video. I'm not sure how I'll do it, but I'm gonna find a way.
I love him so much, and I just have nothing but respect.
Yeah, here's what we'll do.
You're my boy.
Bearded Fat Man is our big shout out for this video, so I'll link to his channel below. Please, if you can, go give him a follow. It would make his day probably a little bit better. Give him a subscribe. We've followed Bearded Fat Man since the very beginning, and I need to get to my point here, but this is it's funny, not funny. He has struggled throughout his entire TNT for a variety of reasons.
The heart of a champion. Just never say die,
Now, he was almost to the point of walking away.
He just needed to vent. He's fine. He's a survivor. He's
I'm not saying he's weak or anything. I mean, it's actually the opposite. But he's approaching 50,000 miles, right? And within the past,
filming this, he's probably 2,000
yeah,
miles.
He's probably like 2,000 miles short of 50,000 as of this video, as of today. in the past 48 hours has come to light that Prime is changing its training to 30,000 miles. So a lot of students are getting calls right now. And by the way, we're being unloaded. That's why it's banging around and we're bouncing around. But anyway, a lot of students are getting a call right now. Several that we know. One of them called me at 1 o'clock this morning. Called me at 1 o'clock this morning and tell me, Lenny, if you're watching this, yeah, you can go to off duty. Lenny, if you're watching this, congratulations, man. Congratulations, Bearded Fat Man. Congratulations to all of you who've, you know, dealt with this winter in TNT. I did some winter driving in my TNT, but nothing like some of you have gone through.
Same here. It's just...
Yeah, she did her TNT in winter too, and it was like we went through maybe a couple, 2 or 3 storms, but nothing remotely
like,
close.
What's funny is the storms that I went through that were like the biggest deal, and they were a big deal to both of us, were now the mildest scenarios that we went through this year.
Yeah, what a winter or two ago we would consider a good snowstorm is now like, oh, that's no big deal. That's all that's happening. Man, that vape cloud really just stormed the truck. Anyway, so yeah, Prime is right now changing in 30,000. Now, I told you guys this was going to happen. I told you in a live, and I had several people telling me that it was not going to happen because it was the driver advisory board that made this recommendation. It was all about safety. I said this, and when I was in line for what was I getting? Chassis lube or something for his oil change, and I was on a live. I said I suspect they're going to change it to 30,000. It's not a I told you so, but it's just like it was inevitable. It was inevitable because there's not enough trainers right now. There's not enough trainers, and students are, within the last month or so, we've seen students waiting for like weeks, if not months,
well, and
to get a trainer.
And we've seen something that we've never seen happen before, which is that there's some students that when they have like a personality conflict and they're just not really compatible with their trainer, and they go, hey, maybe can I get somebody else? And Prime's just nobody. Like, I'm sorry, you got to be an adult and figure out how to get along. so they have to free up some trainers. They have they just have to shorten. It was inevitable. And while not everyone, but some on the driver advisory board, which the only person I know on the driver, actually I know 2 people, but Kiersey's one that we probably talk to more than anyone else. Yeah. Junior sometimes.
Junior, yeah, that's true.
We just don't bother him a lot because
some of them were claiming this is a safety issue. Well, now you can't go back because 30,000 miles before was deemed safe. And now they're saying that 30,000 miles is safe now. So 30,000 miles seems to be... Now, and keep in mind, this doesn't mean that a trainer can't talk to their fleet manager and say this student needs more time. So it doesn't mean that 30,000 miles is the safe number for every single student that comes through the program. It just means that students can be ready safely at 30,000 miles. So the criteria goes back to when it was when I upgraded. You can't have any critical events, no speeding tickets, no accidents.
It's no more than 2 critical events, no safety related issues, no accidents.
Yeah.
You know, your trainer has to sign off, and so does your fleet manager.
Yeah, so it's basically the way it was. It's gone back to the way it was when I upgraded. So,
which for some people it's really good because, you know, like Eric, he was ready to roll at 30,000 miles. Me, not so much. So if you have somebody who's like myself, who just is way too much of a nervous wreck, they can go longer.
Yeah, you know? And some people want to stay longer. I think Lyle did significantly longer, and that was by choice.
Yeah. He just wanted to learn. He wanted to learn everything he could.
And I'll say this, guys, I didn't feel totally ready at 27,000 miles. I did at 30,000. Like that last 3,000 miles really, we talk about this often. Like that last 3,000 miles, I got to back into some situations that were sketchy. And my trainer had completely set me free to just totally run the truck without waking him or anything in that last 5,000 miles. I mean, like, it was, you do this. This is you run it as if it's your truck. So at 30,000 miles, I became ready, but at like 27,000 miles, I wasn't totally ready. So I think 30,000 miles is a really good sweet spot, and I'm glad to see it go back to 30,000 minimum. So anyway, Bearded Fat Man, so sorry, man. What a I don't even know what a word to use to describe what it has to feel like to finish your, damn it, that stupid reefer, to finish your 50,000 miles or get right up against it, and then be told that it's 30,000 miles. So anyway, for those of you thinking about coming to Prime, which, by the way, I am shameless on this, absolutely shameless. I know some people don't like to do it. Hey, don't put me in that category. If any of our videos have been helpful to you and you're thinking of coming to Prime, our driver code is in the description below, as well as a really good recruiter that you can contact. If we've been helpful for you, feel free to use it. If you don't want to use it, don't use it. But if you're thinking of coming to Prime, or you're getting ready to come to Prime, it is now 30,000 miles for the time being. Now, maybe if you're watching this video a year from now, you know, the freight market's changed and all that, and then there's not enough freight for all the trucks, they may change it again. But as of right now, March 2nd, 2021, it is now 30,000 miles, we believe. And another thing that's changing, and we've seen some complaints about this, which is kind of funny, you're now going to be double bunking probably, or a good chance of it. You're going to have a roommate when you come into the training program.
Which is what it used to always be.
It definitely did.
And while it may not be good for you, like it may not be your favorite thing, it's kind of encouraging to us because it tells us that things are getting a little bit more back to normal.
Things are getting realistic. Realistic. I know some of you don't like my stance on mask, but you know, go look at Florida statistics.
Well, and that's been a weird thing this week too, is I've gone into so many places where I put my mask on and I walk in and I look like the a-hole because everybody else
up in Wisconsin, we were in entire counties and towns where nobody's wearing mask anymore.
I'm not going to say which customer it was, but I walked in because they've got mask required signs. They still have them up. And the customer, when I was checking in, actually yelled at me because she couldn't hear me, and it was like, just take that damn mask off, I'm tired of this. And so it kind of cracks me up because, you know, they've got like the plexiglass and the little speaker to talk through, and I'm already soft spoken, and
yeah, and some of you, you know, like, you can have your opinions on things. I mean, there's science on all sides of it. I tend to believe the science that says Florida is doing better than other states. But, you know, whatever you believe, there's science on all sides of it. The point is that some say that that's not good to have people in rooms together. You're about to live in a truck with somebody, which is a 25% the size, less, probably 20% the size of one of those rooms. Probably less than that, honestly. But anyway, when I came through orientation 2 years ago, there were 110 people in my class. And back then it was a week long because you did everything at Prime. You did your permit. You went to Springfield DMV and got your permit. You got a Missouri permit, no matter what state you were from. You did your drug test, your physical, everything you did at Prime. So it took an entire week. So I had a roommate for 6 days there at Campus Inn, who, by the way, my roommate is one of, I believe, only 5 or 6 people left in my entire class that is still at Prime. His name is Mike, and he's still at Prime, so we still communicate. So I was fortunate to get a not crazy, not stinky roommate. But that's all part of the process, you know. So it's just funny how there was this phase of students like Herd Bull and Long Haul Gypsy and all of these that got like the grand treatment of a couple days at Campus Inn with their own room, and then moved over to
the really fortunate ones that got a cushy room at the Oasis.
Well, they were moving you over there after your first few days, and then the new students got the campus. So, you know, there was this time of like this really, really sweet treatment that I didn't get when I came through, and I had to take a Greyhound bus. And that now you folks coming in now are not going to get, and it just is what it is. But
again though, I think it's kind of a good thing, because as terrible as the Greyhound experience is, I'm kind of hoping it goes back to that, because when you take that awful bus ride, it kind of puts you into this zone mentally where you're like, okay, this sucks, you know. But you're ready to tackle. You're ready to tackle what lies ahead, and everything beyond that bus ride is easier.
That's true. When I got on that Greyhound bus, because she dropped me off at the bus station, when I got on a Greyhound bus, it immediately became real for me. Mm-hmm. You know, it wasn't like driving a rental car and listening to music or flying. I mean, it was like immediately, oh, this is going to be a dramatic change in my life, you know, because I'm beyond the age of wanting to ride around in Greyhound buses next to a shitter for hours on end, and it was a terrible experience. There were
ladies propositioning people.
There were paid favors occurring at transfer stations. It was something else, but it did. I don't know. I appreciate the experience that I had.
Yeah.
You know, would I do that in any other scenario? Probably not. Do I ever want to do that again? No. That's why I will never let go of my CDL. I'll keep, even if I don't drive a truck, I'll keep getting my physical.
That's advice in and of itself, which is don't ever make the mistake of giving up your CDL.
Yeah, we know some people who did and then had to go through the whole situation again. But anyway, so yeah, things are changing, and a lot of, I think they're all for the better. So yeah, 30,000 miles, guys. That is the big news today. We are, I think a lot of you, especially with the nature of the title of this, will be watching this later than today. But for those, our subscribers that are kind of following our dramatic check engine light express situation, we are in St. Louis offloading this load. Truck has been great. In fact, the damn check engine light went off. But fortunately, they were able to see the codes, so they know that it's got the knock sensor code that's been faulting.
It's just amazing. It's like the truck has like,
it has a mind of its own,
as soon as you're within like, you know, so many miles of Springfield,
it's like, oh, you're going to Springfield to get me fixed? Well, I'm better.
Yeah, it turns itself off. It's just like the dog faking a cough. You take it to the vet and it's fine, you know.
So yeah, we're 200 miles from Springfield. So as soon as we're done unloading here, we're gonna drag this empty trailer down to Springfield, run to the house, get everything off the truck, run the truck over to Peterbilt, and that'll be all today. And then we'll go live this evening. So far the truck has carried, at least it got us to this point, so we get this load on this payroll and we're not being towed before we got to this 90. Yeah,
but we'll update you later.
So thanks to our fleet manager for helping us get paid to get the truck to a place where we don't have to stay in a hotel all week, so we're really grateful for that. All right, well, almost 20 minutes, guys. Gonna shut this one down.
I'm gonna drink my bitter coffee, continue on with my bitter mood.
And Bearded Fat Man, seriously, good,
very proud of you.
Good work, man. I remember the very first couple videos you did where you were like in PSD and TNT, and it's been a pleasure to not only watch your journey through the whole process, but you involved Jenna and I throughout it, and you called and asked for advice, and kind of just let us be there with you through it. So definitely very proud of you, and congratulations, even though
well, I mean,
it's a 50,000 mark.
It's just one of those things where it's so exciting when you feel like you're part of somebody's journey. It makes it that much more exciting because it's like accomplishing that milestone all over again.
And that's one of the things we love about a lot of our referrals, although BeardedFatmann is not a referral, but a lot of our, like I talked to Hopper yesterday on the phone. I'm just kind of helping him think through how to learn his freight lanes. You know, we've known Hopper for a long time, long before he came to Prime. And seeing him come in, you know, like a deer in headlights to orientation, and then PSD, and then TNT, and then now, or did he have to do PSD? He had his CDL.
Yeah, he got his CDL,
he had his CDL.
but he had to do all the...
He got his CDL with Warner, and he was in there.
No, he went through a private school, went to Warner to do the training, and within like a week and a half of being at Warner,
Prime started hiring Florida. Yeah, because he's from Florida. So anyway, he's been out of TNT for like 4 or 5 weeks. So just watching his whole process, and then watching him go from, oh my God, I'm upgrading, what am I going to do, to now 4 or 5 weeks into it, hey, how can I start to learn the freight lanes? And how can, you know, it's fascinating stuff, you guys. Like, we love it. We don't do YouTube just to try and make money off of it. We do it because we're just as much watching and interacting with everyone else's journey as all of you are with ours. And that's been a really amazing experience. So, all right, guys, we're going to shut it down. I think they're probably about done unloading us here anyway. Thanks so much for all the support and for everything you guys do to help us with this channel. Be safe, make good decisions, and as always, drive to thrive. We'll talk to you soon.